Hi there, this is Niki Rowland for the Shimmerz Paints YouTube education team, and today I am working on a layout. I'm going for a background watercolour effect using the packaging technique, and I'm also planning to colour in a cut file using the Dazzlerz and Texturez pastes. So I'm starting off here with my background. I've chosen some different colours of sprays. I've gone for the Vibez Sweetheart and Pop Art Pink. I'm also using the Spritz in Cotton Candy, and you'll see me add some Jeni blue in a minute as well. Here we go. So I'm just trying to achieve a watercolour effect background. I want my cut file to sit over the top so that the colour shines through all of the gaps, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm just also there wanting to bring in a lighter shade of the greeny colour, so I've gone for the Dazzlerz See You in the Morning, which I have watered down with some water and applied in the same way as the packaging technique, just with a piece of cellophane and the paste watered down onto that. I'm doing exactly the same here with a really light pink. That's Tutti Frutti. You can see that I probably had a bit too much water there and I've got a bit too much at the top, so I was just picking that back up and moving it around. Yeah, so I'm keep trying my cut file up against it to make sure that I've got enough coverage on the page. I've gone in with some Pop Art Pink and I'm just adding lots of splatters, and that's Cotton Candy there as well. I also sprayed the Pop Art Pink directly onto the background too, just to give a bit more intense colour down there. Now I'm going back in with some more watered down See You in the Morning Shimmerz, Dazzlerz, sorry. I'm just adding some splatters with that. So yeah, I'm pretty much there with my background now, and now I'm moving on to colouring in my cut file. So what I'm doing here is I've just got some different colours of the pastes. So I've got Tutti Frutti there, and also crushed coral and Dreamsicle, and I'm applying some of them all just directly with my finger. I'm applying some of them to the cut file as they are, and some of them are mixing together. So in particular, Tutti Frutti and Dreamsicle I've mixed together there. You can see it on my little craft sheet there, and I'm just using my finger to apply the colour to the hearts on the whole cut file. I think I do all of them. I wanted to bring in a bit of the lovely light green colour from See You in the Morning, so I'm just bringing that in as well, and I'm going to try to make sure that I go for a nice soft look for this cut file, and have everything looking coordinated and lovely and soft and pretty. So I'm just going through randomly colouring in the hearts in the different colours using all of those beautiful pastes. I like using this technique because it means I can get a really different finish with the very light application of the paste onto the cut file. I filled in all the gaps with the lightest colour that I've got, which is the Tutti Frutti, and it just gives a really lovely soft finish, all very shimmery to that really gorgeous cut file there. So I've just set that aside to dry, and what I'm doing right now is I'm fussy cutting some little hearts, or half hearts, from each of the Cocoa Vanilla Studio More Than Words 6x6 paper pad. So I've made myself a template earlier, right at the beginning of the video actually, for this heart, because I knew I was going to cover it in paste. So what I'm doing now is I'm going through and I'm picking out some different patterns from the collection, and cutting out those half hearts from all of those different patterns. I'm not sure at this stage if I want every single heart to be filled or if I want some of them to be left blank. I think I end up with some of them left blank. Yeah, just what I'm doing now is fussy cutting those all out, getting them all ready. And I plan to backfill my cut file with all of those little pieces. So yes, I'm doing this the hard way by hand. I didn't have my silhouette with me where I was when I was scrapping this layout. So I am doing them all by hand. It's a labour of love, but I love doing things with lots of different patterns. So that's fine by me. Yeah, so my cut file, I'm hoping is dry by now. What I'm doing is I'm now just going to stick the semi-hearts behind each of the openings. I'm using a wet glue here because my hearts are very thin. Normally I would raise each piece on foam pads so that I had some dimension, but in this case I am defeated and I have to just use the wet glue to stick those directly flat on the back of the cut file. Okay, so I'm pretty much done now. I'm just trimming off some little excess pieces that have poked out from behind the cut file, so getting rid of those, tidying it up a bit. And you can see that I didn't fill every single heart. I did most of them, but I wanted to. It was kind of figured, what's the point of having my background if I can't see any of it through the hearts? However, now that I've got my background all dry and I've backfilled my heart cut file, and my heart cut file has got lots of nice colours on it, I actually don't like my background, it's too dark. So I have to sort that out somehow. So what I'm doing now is just putting a piece of light pink paper around the edge of my layout there. And now I'm going to get my cut file stuck onto my layout. I will deal with the issue of the slightly too dark watercolor background in just a moment. I'm going to figure out a way of covering that up a bit, or covering up the bits that are a bit too dark and the bits that don't work so well with the layout. The layout is such a soft layout with the colours on the cut file and the paper collection. It's so very soft, so that bright pink just didn't quite work properly. So yeah, I'm gonna use my photos to cover that part up, and yeah, some strategic photo and embellishment placement will solve the problem, I am sure. So okay, I've got my two photos. I'm just backed those on a couple of pieces of pattern paper, same pattern. I think it was the same as my background sheet, so it all brings it in nicely. And now I'm just pulling out some embellishments. I'm mainly going to use embellishments from the same paper collection, the More Than Words, and I'm going to add another paper layer behind my photos just to, again, cover up a bit of that really dark pink that isn't quite right for this layout. And that beautiful, beautiful wood grain, white wood grain paper is just so perfect. So there, now you can see that that big splash of pink in the middle is mostly covered. You can still see a little bit of it down at the bottom left-hand side. So I've just put some flowers in place to see if I can cover that up a bit more, which I have done. So to go one further and put a piece of light pink paper inside that orangey frame, and that covers it up completely. I'm still adding the flowers, but it means that that bright pink in the background is nicely covered. I still have that bit just at the top of my photos, but I think I can live with that. It's more the big splash of it just wasn't working for me. So now I'm going through and I'm adding lots of embellishments, and I've got Precious Moments as a title from the chipboard sheet in mind. I'm bringing in some darker colour here. She's got dark in the uniform that she's wearing. She's dressed up as a nurse, a Victorian nurse, and I wanted to bring in the dark of that uniform into the page somehow, because it was just a bit too soft with her looking with that dark outfit on. So I'm just bringing that in by using that dark grey tag, which is perfect. I'm just putting some string through it now, and that will bring that together, bring the photos in a bit more. And now, I'm just layering up some embellishments. I've fussy cut out some flowers there, or they might even be from the ephemera pack actually, and getting everything stuck in place. So just getting my title in place now. They were off the chipboard sticker sheet that came with the collection, and I'm feeling a lot better about that layout now that bright pink is covered up. So I'm just continuing to bring in some embellishments from the ephemera pack and from the fussy cut sheets in the pack. And I'm getting there. I'm almost done, to be honest. Just putting on some finishing touches here and there. There's one spot that's really bothering me on the layout still. You see the heart at the top right, it has a big splash of yellow on that. It's a striped paper. It's a really pretty paper actually, but the yellow isn't really working for the whole of the layout, and obviously you can't see it that well on the video, but to me it was offending me. So what I'm doing now is I'm pulling that out. I'm unsticking it, or I actually had to cut it because I'd stuck it so well with the wet glue, and I'm just putting in a different piece of paper. I was really worried that I'd ruined the cut file when I did this, but it has all come together perfectly well and it looks fine. And without that splash of yellow that was just out of place, I'm now really happy with that layout. It took me a while to get there, but I'm really happy with it now. I absolutely love the effect and how soft and lovely it is, and what a fab layout, and I really enjoyed making it, despite the minor problems that I suffered while I was doing it. So there you go, there is my finished layout. I'm calling that done. Thank you so much for watching me. Don't forget that if you place an order via the Shimmerz store, put my name in the comments and you will receive a free gift. Thanks again for watching. That was Niki Rowland for Shimmerz Paints.